All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we get into very quick sports updates, very quick. Quick little update on the LPDS garden and the vegetables and all the what have yous there. I identify or I bring to light the latest dating app profile trends that I'm seeing in the outdoor cat world and the dating apps. I get into a little bit of a Halloween update for you in the Junction as we welcome in the Holy Holiday Triumvirate. I also get into an absolute unhinged rant about a possible new fight, a new war that the LPDS might be getting into with its own government. And of course, a Cage fact. Tune in, stay for the whole thing. All coming at you right now. All right, Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to the Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti, the show that talks about nothing but tries to find the lessons in everything. We have a good time doing it. I sure do. Hope everybody had a good week. Mine was decent, productive, stringing along those productive weeks, productive days, getting things moving. I sort of got the tech stuff figured out. I don't know. I'm not recording on my phone today. I'm recording through my computer again. So, though, I think there's going to be video freeze issues still, but the sound should be better. The audio should be better. And I'm actually able to use the computer this time because we had the whole power internet outage last time and it caused a real circus act. And an act that I don't have the technical prowess to navigate around as easily. So, anyway, productive week. Got more in the hopper for Spearhead. Trying to line up more interviews and coaching style calls for the Libretti Leadership Lab. So, if you know anybody who you think would be a good story, a good interview, in generally in life, but really on the leader, has a leadership spin to it, whatever their story may be. It doesn't matter what industry they're in particular, but if they have a good tie to leadership in some way, shape, or form, of leadership to help them get to where they are now in some way, shape, or form, and you want to hear their story, you think others should hear their story, let me know, and I'll reach out to them and see if we can make that happen. So. That's all I got on Spearhead stuff for now. Very quickly, the Giants' hopes of playoff success are essentially dead. They completely dead. That's basically mathematically they're not out yet, but they're dead. Okay, they lost their running back Cam Scatbo. If my father's listening, JPL3 dislocated his ankle, tore a bunch of ligaments, couple of fractures, or shatters of the bottom of his tibia bone. So he's out for the year. So now they have their top two guys on the team out for the year because Malik Neighbors tore his ACL. They got a rookie quarterback. They got an offensive line who still stinks. And they have a defense who's absolutely dog shit. Not the defensive line. The defensive line is solid. The secondary is still dog shit. I don't know who's training them, coaching them, preparing them, whatever, but I think they got to get rid of the GM. I mean, I for a number of different reasons. That guy sucks. But they got to get rid of him. And anybody involved in the defensive preparation of the players, the GM is the one who picks the players, and whoever he has helping him, they got to go. So get rid of those guys and then get rid of everybody on the defensive team, on the coaching staff, coaching wise. I'm talking the defensive coordinator, the assistant coordinators, the safety coach, the quarterbacks coach, whoever. Get rid of them. The defense has been an absolute joke for over a decade. Get rid of them. And now they have no breakout players to help out the rookie quarterback. He has no protection. He's got a couple of second string receivers out there to work with. It's just going to be, dead season. Don't expect victories. Like, don't expect high levels of success from the Giants if you're a Giants fan, and you won't be disappointed this year. So when you watch a game, just look for glimmers of hope for the future, not for this season. This season's dead. It's dead. So that's all I got to say about that. Moving on. We're getting a little colder weather here. I don't like it for a number of reasons. You know I don't like the cold. But we're talking, 50s at night, 60s to 70s during the day. So it's really beautiful days. Still get up to 80 every once in a while. But it's starting to get colder at night. And the main reason now I'm focused on that is because I have a lot of hope, a lot of potential going on with my vegetable plants. I already picked over 100 plus peppers. I got more on the plants. Their peppers I'm good to go on those. Like those plants stay strong the whole time, whole year. They're good to go. Not worried about that. The tomatoes, I got 2 plants that survived all the issues throughout the season this year. And I have about like conservatively, objectively, realistically speaking, I have about 50 tomatoes growing on those 2 plants. Now these plants got big. And these types of tomatoes, the Roma tomatoes that I get so I can make sauce with it, gravy when you put meat in it, they grow big. They're wild. They're not as standard stalk straight up and down and then perpendicular branches. They're all over the place. They're spidering out. They're getting crazy. I have about, I don't know, 5 or 6 stakes in the ground with yarn all over the perimeter, just holding it all together. Almost like a rope scaffolding to keep them upright and going. And I got tomatoes, green, small tomatoes at the wazoo. So I'm focused on the weather and the temperatures, because if it starts getting below 40, below 50 in the 40s, certainly below 40 at night, that's gonna end the growth and ripening of those tomatoes. Now I'm pretty confident it's not going to happen, but by the time I pull the plants at the end of December, but this is now we got to pay attention. The watering has to be methodical. I have to make sure they're getting the right amount of sunlight. They're getting the warmth they need when they need it. And then I'm fostering these tomatoes to the finish line. Do I have enough to spread the wealth? I don't know. That will all be determined when it comes time to pull the plants and grab the tomatoes and see what we got. There'll be several ripe ones for sure. And then what I'm likely going to have to do is take the salvageable ones and do the whole rotten banana in a paper bag trick that I did last year that ripened them. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. One of these days, when I have a huge garden and I have the time to cultivate a bigger garden, That's going to be a great joy for me to be able to grab all these tomatoes, make sauce, make all hot peppers, make salsa, whatever we got. We got plenty of tomatoes for to make stuff with for everybody, and I can spread the wealth to everybody. Today's not one of those days, though. So we're gonna get there, no doubt about it. Anyway, moving on. There is a new trend. What did they say? What did they say on Love Island? Is it Love Island or Bachelor in Paradise? Maybe it's. I think it's Love Island. Like a new blank has entered the villa, a new jabroni, a new X has entered the villa, whatever. We have a new trend that has entered the dating app profiles. This is sort of an unofficial mini series of cliches and commonalities and trends going on in the dating app world. Me being on the dating apps as an outdoor cat, I see this stuff and I like to bring that stuff to you guys. So the latest trend, we've had a lot. I should really compile a list and just start racking them out here on YouTube land. Just tell you what I have so far, like when the timelines were and stuff like that. Um, should have done that earlier. That's a great idea. That's might be a little too late for. But the latest is this obsession with matcha. And I don't know how to properly spell matcha. I don't know if it's Macha or Matcha. I also don't know if those are two different distinct things, distinctly different things. That's what I meant to say. Because I've seen both matcha with a T and matcha with no T. And I understand enough about matcha to know that it is tea of some sort. And that's the extent of my knowledge of matcha. It's a drink, tea-based. You could get it at any hipster or chain coffee shop, basically. And I don't know if there's a subset of matcha that's no T, C-H-A, M-A-C-H-A, that's a different type of matcha. I don't know. Or are these people just stupid and misspelling words? That could be it too. Maybe the no T matcha is like mocha and they spelled mocha wrong. They spelled it with an A by accident or auto-corrected them by accident. I don't know. What I do know is that throughout my investigation in my scientific research, my reconnaissance throughout multiple different dating apps, it pops up on all the profiles of most of the ladies on all these different apps. So it's not like app specific. It's not like Bumby is their AI program is recommending, hey, put this in your profile. This would be good. Or Hinge is recommending this as a prompt answer. Unless they are all in cahoots. Now, I know there is a big conglomerate that owns a bunch of dating apps. I believe it's called the Match Group. And they own the vast majority of the dating apps. And I believe, and somebody who's in the tinfoil hat space can correct me on this because you'll probably be a little bit more knowledgeable on this, but I believe the Match Group is owned by one of the big three corporate, how do I want to label them? The secret corporate bosses of the world. I believe it's owned by Vanguard. BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street are the big three. Blackstone is a close number 4. Watch out for Blackstone. But I believe Vanguard is one who owns Match Group. Something like that. Or or is Palantir, which is a different, it's not one of the big three world controlling corporations, but he Palantir works with them. They're all in cahoots together, and they're in the Illuminati, the New World Order, whatever tinfoil hat titles they got going on right now. So it might be Palantir that owns it, or the guy who owns Palantir. That could be. I think that might be it too. One of those owns all the dating apps through the Match Group. Which again, if you're going tinfoil hat style, why do they need all that personal data that we put into those dating profiles? And don't forget, the profiles, try to ask you, be as thorough as possible so that we can provide you the best match. And what are they really doing with that information? Sun Tzu, what did he say? Know thy enemy like yourself, something like that. Michael Corleone, keep your friends close but your enemies closer. That's probably what they're doing to take us out. If you're going tinfoil hat theories. I'm not. I'm just talking about the latest trends in the dating apps so that you guys are apprised of this stuff. So in case you see it out in the wild, you can let me know. And the trend of the day, of the week, is matcha. And I've never had it before. I will never order it for myself. If somebody wants me to try it, they can let me try some of theirs, or they can buy it for me. I just don't see. I don't waste my money on things I have zero interest in, even though it's probably $2-3. Probably like $6-8 at Starbucks. But that's the new drink of choice. Every girl that I've seen out there, most girls that I've seen, I want to generalize and get canceled by the girls. It's either part of their simple pleasures. It's either part of their typical Sunday routine. It's either part of the ways to win them over. It's part of the keys to their heart. It's part of the little about me, fun and punchy intro about me is that I love matcha. Let's go get a matcha and call it a day. I love walks on the beach and matcha. Buy me a matcha. Maybe I'll tell you more about me. The key to my heart is dog cuddles and matcha. Now, again, a repeat for the 1,000th time. I don't care what you like. If you like that, that's awesome. That's great. I want people, this video is freezing. I'm watching it freeze, by the way. I'm watching it freeze. I am so tired of this constant bullcrap. I'm so tired of it. And I have no means to fix it right now. So I apologize to you guys that I have to get so heated and you have to deal with this every single damn week, a new tech issue that I can't either fix myself because I don't have the prowess or the knowledge, or I don't have the financial ability to upgrade the equipment. I'm sorry. But damn it, does this shit piss me off. It's so simple. I just wish something would just work like it says it's going to work consistently these days. Anyway, I don't give a shit what you guys like. If you like it, that's great. I'm here to be your hype man all the time. I'm not telling you what to like and not like. What I'm recommending is to not get your dating app profile advice from the same source, because that's obviously what's happening. And I'm sure it's happening with the fellas too. So fellas, if you're out on the dating apps, don't do that. Don't ask ChatGPT for fun and punchy intros, thinking that they didn't give that same fun and punchy intro to 5,000 other dudes in the area. And now guess what? Now you're white noise. Now no one's going to see your profiles. You are just like the rest of them. And that's not what we want. Okay? Each person makes a profile to stand out. And I know I'm a broken record. Every time I talk about a new trend, I reiterate with the same recommendation and advice and spiel. One, because you never know what new listeners are tuning in for the first time, and this actually could be of value to them or entertainment, one or the other. And two, because that's the only way to get this information out there. You got to broadcast it, repetition, 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 to constantly remind ourselves and everybody else it's not working. Wherever you're finding your information to put in your profile, don't go there anymore. They're giving it out to everybody. And I'll say it again. My profiles might not be the best. I might not stand out as the most good looking or hunky or tall. And my answers might not entertain you. We might not have the same sense of humor. You might not like the same things that I do based on what you're reading in my profile, based on what I put out there. But I promise you, nobody else is putting that information out there. Every answer I have is an absolute, original, unique answer. My looks might put me in the white noise with everybody else. Got it. I am not the best looking person in the world. I would equate myself to, if we're looking at a bell curve of stats and numbies, I'm in the middle of the bell curve with most other people in the physical looks department. Visual looks only department. Got it. Fine by me. I personally think I'm a little further on the right towards the better looking of that average, of that bell curve. Still within average, though, because I focus on my physical, mental, and emotional fitness regularly. And just by working out and being able to lift weights and exercise and be fit, that puts people at a standard deviation above others, the people who don't. The vast majority of people in this country are not doing that every day. So I like to think that puts me a little bit ahead in that regard. But I also am realistic. I am not Fabio. I am not Glenn Powell. I'm not any other hunky guy, Henry Cavill. Who else is a hunk? Ryan Gosling. I don't look like those guys. My face is not symmetrical like them. I'm not built in a lab. I'm just a regular guy. So I get if my photos might look by being the white noise and they're not as professional. They're photos taken by me or my friends, like throughout life. I don't have headshots. Nothing like that. I probably could get them. Maybe that'll bolster me. That'll get me visually out of the white noise. But my prompts, I promise you, you can put the answers into Google search. You can put them into ChatGPT and say, find other people who have these same answers, and you won't. It'll come up with nothing. The only other person I could see having the same sort of joke information in there, the only other people, I should say, are not on the apps. They're all taken. They're all indoor cats. It's all everybody in the brotherhood who would share the same sense of humor. And even then, it wouldn't be the same exact answers and replies because we still also like different things. Our senses of humor are generally the same, but we branch out into different sects of other things we think are funny based on our lives and our experiences. I know the creature probably doesn't laugh nearly as much as like military and war jokes and memes as much as I would because he didn't do the military. He did a different path. Same with the aviation side. I don't know all the FAA jokes and memes and shit talks because I'm not an air traffic controller. Creature and Wet Cat are. So even then, even if all the brothers in the Brotherhood and Nikki Sticks as well are all back on the apps, back and being outdoor cats, the answers are not going to be the same. The prompts are not going to be the same. I promise you that. I'll bet my podcast tech setup that you won't find somebody else with the same prompts as me. All you're going to find is my profiles on different sites. That's it. Because I do use the same information on each app. I might alter how I communicate it, how I message it, depending on how they ask the question in those particular apps. But that information and the jokes and stuff are still the same. So I'm the only one who really uses my own shit. That's it. So long story longer, for everybody out there, guys, fellas, gals, fellas, be original. Cut it with the trends. Don't make me have to keep doing this mini series with more additional trends that are on the dating apps that I'm noticing. Please stop. Okay? That's all I got to say about that. Now, we can get into the good stuff before I throw this computer off a freaking cliff. I was going to drop F-bomb, but family show, I'm trying to be better. It's not going to go well, though. Let's step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Camel Toe Crush. Fellas, are your skills with the ladies below the equator lacking and you're looking for something more than just the alphabet maneuver to rev your gal's engine up for once in your pathetic life? Then get yourself some Camel Toe Crushes today. CTCDs are an all-new dissolvable nicotine pouch that when you bite down and crush the pleasure bead inside the pouch, a wave of cool mint and pheromones will flood your tongue and instantly allow you to finally provide an enjoyable experience for your lady in the bedroom, preventing another night of her having to dig through her box of toys and Rolodex of divorce lawyers and keeping you from having to sleep on the cuck chair that night again. So to get yourself and your woman the gift that actually keeps on giving, go get you some Camel Toe Crushes today by visiting That's not correct. By visiting your local Piggly Wiggly or Love's gas station. And if you give them the promo code Joe Culo, you get 29% off your first tin of Camel Toe Crushes. These are the jokes, folks. All right, the cage fact. This is I don't want to call it outdated, but a little bit outdated if we're talking about 24-hour news cycle. But Nic Cage's film Snake Eyes has seen in the last month, probably the last 2 months, a significant uptick in viewership across whatever platforms it's on or rentals on online or whatever, because the tinfoil hatters are saying that the Snake Eyes movie predicted or I guess foreshadowed or gave away the Charlie Kirk incident. Not so much predicted, but kind of the tinfoil hatters are saying that the movie was putting it out there putting it out in plain sight to show like we're going to do this, and you're not even going to notice when it's going to happen, and we're showing you everything, and we're still going to get away with it. Now, the reason they say that is because apparently a number of things. One, apparently the movie happens the same time, September 10th or whatever, just a different year. I don't remember seeing the actual date of the day that, when the movie was supposed to be portrayed. So I don't know if that's necessarily true at all. The other stuff, though, is in regards to the storyline and the specific details within the movie. Now, if you haven't seen the movie, it's about a shooting that occurs at a boxing event. Nic Cage is an investigator or whatever he is, and he's going to just watch this championship boxing event that his friend Gary Sinise, who's in the Navy, works as some sort of special detail with the government, got him, invited him to go watch this boxing event. And during the event, there was a shooting. A sniper shot and killed like a congressman or senator or some government official or whatever. Shot him in the neck. Um, then the whole story unfolds. You'll see all the stuff that happens there. Don't want to give any spoilies out for a movie that's 30 years old almost. But anyway, the parallels there are the sniper shot, the misdirects, the neck shot, the fact that it was a government person that they were trying to take out. The guy's name, the victim's name was Charles Kirkland. What else was there? The other guy's name in the movie, I think the boxer had um his name was like Lincoln Tyler, but and then the accused shooter in real life is Tyler Robinson. So there's like they're trying to connect dots there and say, look, they gave us the script ahead of time, and because of that, people are like, well, I better go see this movie, and the the numbies went up for that movie. Now, I don't like the reason why the movie has been gaining traction as of recent, but I like the fact that the movie is gaining traction as of recent because it's a good movie. Okay? It's got murder, mystery, action, plot twists, boxing, shooting, like fighting in the rain scenes, Nic Cage wearing ridiculous silk shirts. It's a good movie. And Gary Sinise is Lieutenant Dan. So I would recommend just going to enjoy the movie, watching it to enjoy it. I might go rewatch it after this. But not because I'm taking notes to find out where, what the Matrix has in store for us in the future based on these movies. I just don't have the time to do all that work right now. So I just got to enjoy a good Nic Cage movie. But anyway, that's the Cage fact. So there you go. Go enjoy Snake Eyes. All right, move over to the Junction and spin the logo up. Halloween has come and gone. And now we are in the absolute midst of the Holy Holiday Triumvirate. Now, I saw something funny that I didn't really think about. Me and my brother Sticks joke about this literally every year, but I started seeing a different connection here, an actual connection. But I talk about the Holy Holiday Triumvirate all the time, every year. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Best time of the year, despite it being in the winter where the cold weather is, and I hate it. But in between that time, what do we get flooded with? Christmas stuff, right? As soon as I've seen a ton of memes and tweets and stuff on the internet saying, oh, November 1st hits, that means everything is Christmas related. Now, you know how I feel about Christmas. I love Christmas. I'm going to be watching all the Hallmark Christmas movies. You know I am. But I also like Thanksgiving. And I also like, some time to ease into it. I don't need 3 months of Christmas, except for the Hallmark movies because they're just fun. They stink and they're fun. But there's something in between Halloween and Thanksgiving that people have forgotten about. And I never put two and two together. Hand up. I'm not going to pretend that I knew the whole time. But I will say this: every year around this time, Sticks and I talk about it. We trade memes on it and jokes and stuff we see on the internet about it because it's just a thing that guys like to care about and study. And that's the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And I don't know why it is, but between, the song by Joseph Gordon-Lightfoot and the story behind the wreck and Lake Superior and all that, and it happened November 10th, the gales in November, they came early, and now it's the time where between Halloween and Veterans Day, you're paying respects to the 29 souls that never made it back. So I just wanted to bring that up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look up the Evan Fitzgerald. Go look up the song by Gordon Lightfoot. Go look up the jokes and the videos and the stuff on the internets about it. Um, you know, those who do not know, what is it? Those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it. Something like that. Learn your history. Learn about the Edmund Fitzgerald. But Holy Holiday Triumvirate started. It kicked off with Halloween. I buried myself in my house to do some spearhead work, and I turned my lights off. You guys know why? Not because I don't like trick or treating and Halloween and giving out candy and all the stuff. I love Halloween. I don't care about the ultra religious saying it's Satan's holiday and you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be dressing like a slut. Listen, yeah, you probably shouldn't be dressing like a slut. You're probably gonna regret it later on, or wish that you didn't have those pictures posted on your social media. 20, 30 years down the road, maybe you might. But if you're not being a piece of shit human being in life in general, you want to dress a little scantily clad. I don't care. Like I don't get that. I'm not that extreme. I never will be that extreme when it comes to the super religious where they're like, you're going to hell because you dress like a sexy nurse. Like, nah, I don't care. I don't necessarily prefer it anymore. When I was in college and younger, that's all I wanted to see was sexy nurses and cops and women dressed in nothing. Now, I'm not saying I'm not enjoying when people post about it now, but like I don't need my gal. Like if I had a gal now and she wanted to dress like a burlap sack of potatoes, cool. That's, good with me. Like when I was younger, I was like, oh, I want my girl to dress like a slut like that because everyone would think I have a cool, hot girlfriend. It's like, I don't give a shit about that anymore. But if you want to dress like that, go, by all means. I don't think you're going to go to hell for it. I don't think, extreme religious extremists. I don't necessarily agree with any way, shape, or form they go about their lives because I'm not an extremist in that regard. So, but I had one person actually knock on the door even though my lights were out. And I was not going to go out there to answer. I kind of wanted to because it was like, it's a kid. But two things. One, most importantly, was I was literally walking into the shower, so I wasn't going to walk out there with no clothes on, and I was not about to put clothes on and then put Randy in the crate and then go grab a piece of candy from my stash to give to somebody. Like that wasn't realistic. I'm just going to wait it out and let them go. Second, I used to be a piece of shit kid. Okay? When I was younger, there were times I would do ring and runs, ding dong ditch, some of you people call it. You called it ring and run. I would grab the bowl of candy where it says, please take one. I'd empty the bowl in my bag, and then I'd knock on the door and be like, hey, you don't happen to have more candy to refill the bowl because we're all out. And then they would refill the bowl, and I would take more candy on the way out. I was a piece of shit kid. I went to the doors to the houses with no lights on because if I can just get under their skin and weaken them to the point where they answer the door, I can get candy from them. There was no house, no bowls, no hurdles that were going to keep me from getting the most candy possible. No morals, no ethics, no nothing was going to stop me. I was a piece of shit kid on Halloween for that reason, like because of that. So I know that there was a higher than 0% chance that the kid knocking on my door with my lights completely out was a piece of shit kid. And I don't like dogging on kids because it's not their fault. It's a reflection of their parents and the environment that they're around, that they're in. But I also, like I said, I was a kid, okay? And my parents brought us up well. We had a good upbringing. We were in a nicer, a structured, safe neighborhood. I was just a piece of shit kid. Okay? So I know I say, oh, no kid's a bad kid or whatever. We have piece of shit phases. We have shitty phases. Well, we're little assholes. And it doesn't, there's that time where it doesn't matter how well you were brought up, how good your parents are. It doesn't matter how safe your neighborhood was or how good your community was or how your upbringing was all great. None of that matters. What matters is that if you're in that window, that small window where none of that helps, you're just a shit. You were just a little shit. Then that's what you're dealing with. And there was a high percentage that this kid was going through his little shit phase during this timeline, crossing over into Halloween. His window includes Halloween. Now, it could be a couple months. It could be a year. If he has good parents and a good upbringing, the windows are small. In fact, some of them are very sporadic. It's like Halloween, I became a little shit. It was a 4-hour window. Things like that. Events turned me into a secret little shit, especially when I was old enough to go trick-or-treating without my parents walking behind me, and it was just my friends walking the neighborhood. So maybe that's the case with this kid as well. All I know is that nobody knocks on doors of houses with no lights on unless they're in the shit window. And I'm sure the kid's a good kid in real life and in the long term. No kids are really bad kids long term, again, unless they have shitty upbringing, shitty parents, something bad happens. Long term, all kids are great. But short term, shit window, no, I'm not dealing with it. That kid was more than likely in his little shit window. And I didn't want to deal with it. And I'm sure his parents didn't want to deal with it too. That's why they sent him out by himself. Or maybe his parents were in the car or something. That was one thing that was a little annoying this year. I will say that. I was driving home in the middle of trick-or-treating, and I understand when you're driving, like I'm head on a swivel. I'm going 1 mile an hour to see who's crossing the street, who's walking the beat, this and that. There were, in my opinion, way too many people driving on my street to pick up candy for Halloween. They were doing mobile trick-or-treating. Now, I am not here to dog on disabled people, disabled children trying to get candy, disabled parents who can't walk with their kids and want to experience trick-or-treat, Halloween with them, or injured people, broke a leg, broke a limb, can't walk, but they still want to enjoy the time. Like, I'm not talking about those people. What I'm saying is there were far too many cars on my street alone for all of those cars to be exclusively disabled or injured people. It's not possible. The numbers don't add up. So there was a percentage, I don't know how much, but there was a percentage of people that were just being lazy. parents were being lazy. Maybe their kids were being lazy and the parents gave in. Whatever it was, too many cars. Just walk. If you can walk, walk. Okay? Don't be a lazy piece of shit. That was Halloween for me. So I'm glad people went out and enjoyed themselves. I'm glad my house didn't get TP'd or anything, and I only had to deal with one sort of situation because I really didn't deal with it. I just ignored it until it went away, until the kid went away, excuse me. And that was it. So, and then I popped my lights back on about 9:30 just to play it safe, and we were good to go. So, I hope everybody enjoyed their Halloweens as well. Maybe got to dress up, have a little fun with it. Maybe with your kids, they got to dress up. You got to dress up with them, have some fun, have a good time, get some candy, and enjoy, enjoy the beginning of the Holy Holiday Triumvirate. The holiday season was officially upon us. That's all I got to say about that. I have one more thing I want to talk about to set the stage. I've discussed this weeks ago. I mentioned to everybody weeks ago that I was potentially dealing with a situation regarding the Department of Defense, the VA, and my money, my pay. And I don't necessarily remember exactly how much detail I went into, but I believe I discussed with everybody the situation where I was getting tagged with training days in the National Guard that I didn't like. They paid me for these days I didn't actually do, and I was being a good steward and calling them up and saying, "Hey, you paid me for days I didn't work. You got to take this money back because it's screwing up my VA disability payments. We got to figure this out." Well, here's the update. First, I lost my appeal to the VA. So the VA every year says, "Hey, you can't get training days for the National Guard and get your VA disability benefits at the same time. So if you don't submit your appeal by this date, we're gonna take away 14 days worth of disability money, or we're just not gonna pay you for the next couple months until it evens out." Now that's not much money. I don't get much money from the VA at all. So 14 days is $100 maybe. I don't know. But I had to right the wrong. So I had to get that training stuff taken off and that money sent back to the Department of Defense or Department of War, whatever they're called now, so that my VA stuff doesn't get screwed up long term. Well, I needed to get a form signed by my old National Guard unit to confirm the correction by a certain date. This date was 90 days. 90 days. Okay? And they couldn't get the goddamn form signed in time. I am still waiting for an email response back from the person in the office that is supposed to sign it, the secretary essentially. And it's been now, I want to tell you how many days it's been. It's been 180 plus days that they have not signed the form for me. Okay? You want to know reasons why I don't go back to the military? Especially, I didn't stay in the Guard. I chose to get out. I don't want to go back in. That's one of the risks. Reason number 1,500 of infinite reasons. And it sucks too because I loved my time in the military. I do think about going back just to serve in general again, but I can't. I just can't. It was a simple form. It would take 8 total seconds to sign the form and send it back via email. 8 seconds, maybe. Maybe if the internet's a little slow, it might take a minute or two. And I'm still waiting for it 180 plus days later. So get this. Not only did I have to pay $900 plus back for the incorrect National Guard payment, I'm currently losing that 14 days of VA pay because they didn't sign the form on time. So I had to reappeal and fight and let them know, hey, hold up a second. The training days are not correct. I don't take that pay. These nincompoops, these lazy, useless nincompoops just haven't signed the form yet for me to give to you. So please, allow me a fourth extension. Now, you think that was it. I get the fourth extension approved, so I have a stay of execution, essentially, to finally get this stupid form signed. And guess what happens? I get an invoice in the mail from the Department of Defense, their pay system, saying, hey, we got your repayment, your payback, but you didn't pay the interest fee, the interest rate, and you didn't pay the administration fee, the processing fee for us to process this repayment, this payback situation. So now what was supposed to be an annoyance, because anything dealing with the government is at the very least annoyance. Even if everything goes quote unquote smoothly, things going smoothly with a government involved situation is still at the very least an annoyance. What started out was supposed to be an annoyance that was going to take a little while is now on the brink of war. Okay? I just finished an undercover operation with Owen Ramsey and the whole check fraud scam situation, the fake job stuff. Undercover op, not official war, but war nonetheless, combat nonetheless. And now we're right on the brink. And when I say brink, I mean a red line has been drawn in the sand. Okay? They came back and said, hey, you owe us interest on that money and the processing fee for the payback. And I went back to them and I said, listen to me. I said it all kindly, professionally, of course, but I said, listen, you guys made the mistake. You incorrectly paid me money. If I never told you about this, if I never volunteered myself, if I never came clean myself, if I never did the good thing, the moral, ethical, good thing that the military and the Department of Defense and the government always preaches to us while they're brainwashing us is service before self, moral code, values, ethics, all this stuff. If I didn't do that, you would have never have known about this because I could have very easily just told the VA, hey, yeah, I did have those training days. You could take the 14 VA days away. And I would have made more money off of it. And nothing would have ever happened. But I didn't. I came clean to you and said, hey, there was a mistake here. You guys pay me for stuff I didn't do. Okay? If I never said anything, you would have never known. And you made the mistake. So if you think for a second I'm going to pay the interest on your mistake plus the processing fee for you to fix your mistake, you got another thing coming. And guess what? I don't give a shit that it's only $25. Yeah, it's only $25, folks, and I don't give a shit. And I know there's going to be a lot of people out there, a lot of people that are going to be rolling their eyes and telling Libretti, stop it, dude. Don't fall on your sword for this. It's just $25. But what you're forgetting about Libretti is that I got nothing else to live for but to win battles and move the needle forward. And I don't consider it falling on my sword for $25. I consider it falling on my sword for the principle of it, for the point, for the fact that you made a mistake and I came clean for you. I should be charging you interest and processing fees. You guys made the mistake. That's what I'm falling on my sword for. It's not about $25. It's about I am not going to continue to let our inept government bend me over and show me the 50 states. I'm not. We get bent over a barrel for everything by these frauds, by these criminals. Income tax, property tax, sales tax, state transfer tax. If you work in New York and live in New Jersey, you have to pay New Jersey income tax, federal income tax, New Jersey sales tax, New Jersey property tax, and New York transfer tax because you existed in New York for 8 hours a day, so they get to tax you for that. Okay? The whole thing is a scam. They make you pay for insurance you don't really need on your car, health insurance, life insurance, homeowners insurance, all this scam bullshit insurance. And 90% of the insurance payments you're making go to sales commissions, not even to the actual insurance itself. They bend you over a barrel for everything. Congress and the Senate barely show up to work. They're insider trading left and right. We're in the middle of a government shutdown that they have outwardly said, explicitly said already publicly in front of cameras and microphones and everything, that we are using the American people as leverage to get what we want. They have said those exact words. Yeah, we know it's going to be tough for the American people. We know it's going to be shitty for the military to not get paid, for the FAA air traffic controllers to not get paid. They're already short-staffed, underprepared, treated like shit, underpaid, and now we're going to take away their pay. And we're not even going to think about paying them back. Yeah, we know that the people on EBT and food stamps are going to stop getting their monies. Not going to be able to pay for food and stuff. They're going to have to go out and get a job, some of them. We know that sucks for the American people, but we will lose our leverage if we vote to open the government back up. So we're just not going to do it. We're also going to start wars whenever we want and send your kids, not our kids, not us, to go fight those wars on our behalf for our agenda. We're also going to take that taxpayer money that we're robbing you of, and we're going to give it to foreign countries left and right. But we're going to create this bureaucratic process that makes it nearly impossible for that taxpayer money to go back into this country. I am not giving them $25 more. Okay? That government that keeps fucking us day in and day out, sorry, T Family Show, that government that we quote-unquote vote for, that we are infighting with each other about whose team is right and whose team is wrong when we're both wrong, they're all bad. That government, no, I am not giving them $25 more. I'll die before I give them $25 more that they're trying to literally steal from me right now. I don't owe them that money. It's not a matter of I owe you that money. I'm repaying a debt, or you gave me a service and I give you the money. No, you made the mistake. You screwed up. And I don't care that it's just $25. I'll die for it. You can come get it from my cold, dead, lifeless fingers if you want it that bad. And guess what? We're in the middle of a government shutdown. Are you really going to send all your people out there just to prove a point to beat down an American citizen, a disabled veteran, for $25 just to say, don't fuck with us. We're the government. Don't fuck with us. Do it. Please do it. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Come and pry the $25 of money that I don't owe you shit for out of my dead, lifeless fingers. Because I may go down, but that story's getting out there. That's what you did. Now, I put that all in a nice email, and I sent that out to the lady and said, listen, kindly, this is the situation. I am not paying this money. I gave you the $915 back to the penny that you overpaid me by accident, and I'm correcting your accident for you with no repercussions to you. And that's it. If you want that money back so badly, go take it up with the National Guard unit that incorrectly marked me as present for duty when they knew I wasn't. That's their mistake too. You could take it up with them if you need the money that bad. But if you think you're getting that money from me, you got another thing coming. And I talked to one of the ladies on the phone before, and she said, well, what you can do is you pay that money now, and then you can fill out this appeals form to say that X amount of money should go back to me because X, Y, Z. And if they approve the appeal, you'll get your money back. If they approve the appeal, you'll get your money back. I'm not dealing with ifs. I told her, I was like, nope, respectfully, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not again putting my trust and financial security of any kind into the hands of the government that can't even run the post office. They can't even do their own jobs, let alone run other people's jobs and departments. They can't even show up to work right now. So I'm not doing that. I'm not paying. So you can stop bothering me about it and go take it up with the guard unit that made the mistake and by marking me present for duty, or we could go to war. That's the line. The line was drawn. Okay? Or you can come fight me for it. And you know I don't like war because you know how I fight war. And that's where we stand. And I'm here for the comments. I'm here for the shit talks and the hotline calls telling me to just pay the $25 and don't be an idiot. Don't be stupid. Swallow your pride. This and that. I'm here for it. I'll play them on. Call the hotline, 202-670-1114. I'll play them on the next episodes or whenever episodes I get those calls. I'll read the comments on YouTube. I'm here for it. I'm not going to dog on you for that. Certainly not. But I also will not be budging on this at all. It is not about $25. It is about the principle of the matter. And that it is a principle I am willing to go down for. This one happens to be for $25. The same principle could apply for millions of dollars in the future, or for somebody's life, or for constitutional right, whatever it is. Okay? I think it's weaker when people take that mentality of, oh, it's just this, so just do it, and the government won't bother you anymore. That's how we got to the point we're at now, where we can't do shit anymore without them being involved and getting their vig and taking it and stealing from us. We can't do shit anymore. Everything is taxed out the ass. Our money is taxed 4, 5, 8, 12, 15 times. Nobody can afford to buy a house anymore. Nobody can afford to go on vacations as much anymore without losing their homes, living out of their cars. We can't do shit anymore without asking daddy government for permission. It's because we spend too much time conceding to these little things, these seemingly small, trivial bullshit things like $25 interest and processing fees that we didn't make the mistake on. Okay? So I may be the only person who feels that way, and that's all right. Because at the very least, you guys will at least have some entertaining stories and updates to get while I go down with this ship. So I'll keep you posted. Stand by to stand by. I am very hopeful that they're just going to be done with it because in their head, it's just $25. They have monopoly money. Money is nothing to them. They spend and spend and spend. We're $37 trillion in debt. If they're stupid enough to come after someone for $25, then that's actually maybe I should be more worried. They are stupid enough to do something like that. But I'll keep you apprised. And that's all I got to say about that. Before we go, the big three, very quickly. The big three that I just completely schluffed to the side and didn't follow. So talk about hypocritical. Anyway, number one, the 3 pillars to staying strong. What am I doing? The big three. Here we go. The 3 pillars to staying strong, being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, and being able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you and throughout the land. Number 1, exercise every day. Do something every day to improve your fitness, health, and wellness, physically, mentally, or emotionally. So whether it's going to the gym, getting your steps in, doing a physical workout, or breaking the mental sweat, doing crossword puzzles, wordles, Sudokus, whatever, or the emotional, spiritual side, praying, breath work, meditation, what have you. Do something every day. Do something every day to improve your fitness, health, and wellness physically, mentally, or emotionally. Number 2, the hardest one to do, don't be a shitty person. Don't be a negative person. Be a kind person. When the opportunity arises to be shitty or negative, whether in response to somebody or just to repost a thing on your story that's going to cause chaos and negativity and take jabs and throw spears, take the LPDS step back. Take a deep breath, detach from those negative emotions driving you to doing that shit, and just remove yourself, omit yourself from that situation. Put your phone down, close your laptop, walk away, whatever it is. And I know that's tough to do in the moment. It's the toughest thing to do in the moment. But if you do it, you're going to be minimizing the negativity and shit going on in your brain and the world around you. So it's healthier. And you're going to now have the capacity to go focus on more positive, productive things like exercising every day. And number 3, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. And we could do this by thinking about, at least one good thing each day, one good thing that happened to you in the last 24 hours maybe, and thinking about what your life would be like without that thing. And if you actively do this, if you actually spend a few seconds doing that, that'll immediately put you in a state of gratitude. And you'll be able to take that feeling and, pay it forward. Double Dutch into another situation in your day based off of that good feeling, that sense of gratitude. You can springboard, not double Dutch, that's what I'm looking, springboard over into the next activity of the day out of gratitude, and you start stacking gratitude, that feeling of gratitude, and you're minimizing that feeling of taking things for granted and being negative and shitty. And if you do all these 3 things a little bit each and every day, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, I promise you'll be a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being. be able to spread that positivity, goodness to all those around you throughout the land. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put your notifications on. And tell your friends and enemies. And hit that hotline, 202-670-1114. Hit me with whatever. Questions, comments, jokes, comedy bits, impressions, shit talks, disagreements you have, opinions you have, whatever it is. Tips on how to fix that my text so that my video doesn't keep pausing and driving me crazy. Whatever you got, let me know. 202-670-1114. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.